Today, we're making a spatchcock chicken with my take on a gremolata, and spatchcock basically just means we're gonna take the spine out and flatten down the breasts. It's a really easy recipe, and it won't take longer than 30 minutes. My name is Chef Sanj. I'm the founder of Iron and Oak Catering, specializing in open fire experiences, and you can find me on Cooking with Sanj's on Instagram and Chef Sanj on TikTok. Today, we're gonna be making a spatchcock chicken, but instead of chicken, we're gonna be doing it with a Cornish hen. And mainly because it cooks a little bit quicker, and Cornish hens tend to be a lot more tender when they're cooked. If you don't have a Cornish hen, you can also do this with a chicken. It's the exact same process. Before we start this recipe, let's talk about our ingredients. You truly don't need much, so let's get into it. You're gonna start off with your Cornish hen. And then you're also gonna grab yourself an onion. You're gonna get some fresh herbs, and that's gonna include anything between lemon, garlic, parsley, and in this case, we also have a little bit of mint. For this seasoning, you can keep it as basic as you want. Now, as a binder, we're gonna use a little bit of olive oil just to make sure everything sticks nicely. You can also toss in some butter into the pan if you want, but for now, we're just gonna use olive oil to keep things simple. Now, you can use any all-purpose rub that you'd like. I personally like to use a rub that consists of garlic, onion, celery, coriander, and a little bit of pepper, and it's already pre-mixed, so it makes your life 10 times easier. A crucial ingredient to every dish is your salt. So in this case, we have 2 different kinds of salt. So for the chicken, we're actually also gonna be using a kosher salt. Now, I personally like to salt the chicken or salt any protein that I'm doing before adding in the remainder of the seasonings that I'm using, because I like to have control of how much salt that I'm using. Pre-mixed salted seasonings are totally fine, completely up to preference, but this is just something that I know I like to do. Now, for the gremolata, we are going to be using a coarse sea salt. So for herbs, we're gonna be using parsley, we're gonna be using a little bit of mint because it's super refreshing. We're also gonna use lemon zest, which I think is so underrated because everyone likes to use lemon juice, and I feel like a lot of people forget that the zest also adds a lot of really good lemon flavor. And then, of course, you can't forget the garlic. We're gonna add that in there as well. We're gonna begin our prep, and we're gonna start off by slicing the lemon. Now, we do need the lemon for the gremolata, so I'm going to cut it in half, and I'm gonna put the other half to the side for now. Okay, so we're gonna cut really thin slices of lemon, and this way we're just gonna kinda put them on the bottom of the pan when we're done with them. So once we get about 3 or 4 good slices, and honestly, because you're using it for the flavor to cook it in, you can keep this slice as well. So we're just gonna take these slices and we're gonna put them right to the side and keep everything for when we end up plating. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our garlic, and we only need a few cloves for this because we're gonna put it same thing on the bottom with the lemon, and we're gonna do it with our herbs and our onion, and we're gonna take the cloves and we're just gonna smash them because all you really want from this is the aromatics. So we're gonna take a few cloves of garlic, and I'm gonna chop the bottoms off. And there's a couple ways you can do this. You can either chop the bottom off, and then you can give it a nice peel, and it comes off nice and easy like that. Another way that you can get the garlic out of the skin is give it a nice smash. And same thing, it comes apart nice and easy. Now, either way works, it's kind of just up to preference. It's like opening a little present, but it's garlic. The best thing ever. The key to every good dish is this and this, and you don't need anything else. That's a lie, you need a lot of other things, but these are like the 2 main things that I love to cook with. We're just gonna take our garlic and toss it to the side until we plate everything up. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our onion and we're just gonna slice it because we only need a couple of slices. So you can then save the rest of this onion, or you can either add it in your gremolata, you can add it in a salsa, you can roast it. You can do so many things with the white onion, but that'll be for another day. So we're gonna take our little chunks. We got 1 slice, we got 2 slice, and that's good for now. Same thing, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the onion and put it right on our plate of everything that we're gonna use to cook the chicken. If you wanna add some more aromatics onto the dish, you can add parsley, thyme, mint. In this case, I'm just gonna add some parsley. So we're gonna take our parsley and we're gonna put it right on the dish that we're gonna use to plate. To the side, to the side, everything to the side. Okay, so now that we have all ingredients prepped, we're gonna spatchcock the Cornish hen, and I'm gonna show you how easy it is to do. Spatchcock is essentially just taking the spine out. So the main purpose of spatchcocking the chicken is because 1, it's gonna evenly cook all of the skin, and it's a much quicker cook time. Now, if you've never spatchcocked a Cornish hen or a chicken before, it is extremely easy to do. And the best way that I can explain it is the part that feels meatier is the breast. If you flip it over, you'll see a little tail on the end, and this is the spine. This is the whole part that you wanna take out, because once it's out, we're gonna take the breasts and we're gonna push them down, kind of like you're giving it CPR, and then it's gonna be a much shorter cook time as well. So first things first is also because the tips of the wings are gonna burn, you wanna give them a nice chop. And this is super easy to come out. You just wanna go right in between the joint here and slide it through, and it'll come off extremely easily. Now, when it comes to spatchcocking the Cornish hen, you can either use a knife or you can use kitchen shears. Now, I'm gonna use a knife, but what you're gonna do is you're gonna start off and you're just gonna slide down that spine. And you're gonna make sure that you're keeping the thigh, you're gonna make sure you're keeping everything inside, and you just kinda wanna slide down it. You wanna make sure that you're not hitting anything else, get everything through. And this is the perfect example, as you can see the spine, right here. So this is what you're cutting out. Same thing, you're gonna wanna just slide it right through. And now I don't throw out the spine when I spatchcock chicken or spatchcock Cornish hen. I save it because you can make stock with it. Oh my God, I have a whole bag of spines in my freezer. So we're gonna keep that for soup. Once your chicken is spatchcocked, you have the spine removed, you're gonna flip it back over and you're basically just gonna give it CPR. You're just gonna take your hands and you're gonna push down on the breast. You wanna break the breast because the more even that the whole bird is, the quicker and more evenly that everything is going to cook. We're gonna take our prepped aromatics and we're gonna line them right on the tray. So we're gonna take our onions and then just put them right on the tray. Same thing with your garlic, kind of just spread it all over the place. And with the lemons as well. We're gonna get those right on the tray. So we're gonna finish it off with more aromatics. We're gonna take our spatchcock chicken and just put it right on top of all of our aromatics. Now here's when you're gonna salt. I personally like to salt beforehand, so I know how much is going on to it. So we're gonna salt our chicken, and then we are going to take our all-purpose rub, and we're gonna give that a nice coat right on top. I like to season the chicken when it's on top of the aromatics so that whatever seasoning I'm using falls onto the plate. It also kind of gets into the herbs and the lemon and just gives everything a nice flavor. I think that's made up in my head, but I like to think that it's true. We can add some more black pepper if you want. If you want to put a little bit of olive oil to make sure nothing burns on the pan, you could do that as well. Another thing I like to do when I'm cooking chicken specifically is I like to add beer into the pan. And I feel like the beer just helps keep the chicken moist throughout the entire cook. Now, because this is such a short cook, I don't really think it's necessary, but if you wanted to add a little bit of wine, even some butter, you could do that as well. Now that our Cornish hen is prepped, we're gonna get it right in the oven. Smack your burr. Chicken's in the oven, so we're gonna make a take on a gremolata. We're gonna start off with chopping up some of our herbs. So we have some mint, we have some parsley, and we're just gonna give all of those a nice chop. We're gonna give everything a rough chop. So I personally like chopping everything by hand because I feel like when you put it in a blender, you're just losing a lot of the flavor that you would have if you just didn't put it in a blender. Now we're gonna dump all of this into our pan over here. And then we are going to give our shallot a nice chop. Now, because this dish is mainly about the herbs, you don't want to put too much shallot into it because you don't want it too overpowering, but you do want a little bit of that shallot flavor. So we're gonna do about a quarter of this shallot. Same thing, you're gonna give it a rough chop and you're gonna toss it in. So we're just gonna take it and dump it right in. Now the same goes for the garlic. And honestly, to make life easier, what you could do is you could take the zester and just zest the garlic right inside. This saves you a lot of time, and it also ensures that you're getting the most garlic flavor. And we're gonna get the garlic right in. We're also gonna add in some lemon zest. And lemon zest, I feel like, is so underrated. You know, everyone always uses lemon juice, but I feel like a lot of people forget about the zest, and it gives such a really nice citrusy flavor and adds such a good element to the dish. We're gonna add in our olive oil, and you're just gonna kind of coat all of the herbs. You're gonna make sure everything is coated nicely, and we're gonna add in our pepper. And the best part about this is it's so simple, but it adds a really nice flavor to the chicken and always comes out really good. We're just gonna add in some salt. And if you want, you can even add a little bit of lemon juice just for some more acidic flavor. Once everything's in the bowl, we're gonna give everything a nice mix. Now that the gremolata is seasoned to your liking, we're gonna put it to the side until our bird is done. Now that our bird's done, we're gonna chop it up, put it on a plate, and get some gremolata on top. Another important thing to do is that you wanna let the bird rest. And resting is super important when it comes to cooking any type of protein, steak included. You wanna let it rest so that it kind of sucks all the moisture back in. What you can do is you can kind of just cut it into fourths in a way, and just look at how juicy it comes out. All right, what we're gonna do is we're gonna plate it so that I can kind of show you how many different cuts you can get from one bird. So we're gonna plate our leg, and then now since we're on this side, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go in with our breast. And what you wanna do is you wanna kinda go right down the center, and you wanna go underneath. So this is really hot. We're gonna take our breast, and we're gonna put it right over here. And we're gonna leave this one whole, and then the other one we're gonna chop up so you can kind of see the difference as well. And same thing, we're gonna take our leg, and we're gonna put that leg right to the side. All right, we're gonna take our breast, and with this one, I'm gonna show you, we're gonna chop everything so that it's a nice equal pieces. And we're gonna put that right next to our other breast. What you can do is you can also save the carcass, and any scraps that are left over, you can use in soups, you can save for more stock, and just have yourself nice bone broth. Now that our dish is plated up, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our gremolata and we're gonna put it just right over the top. And we can do on one piece, and then same thing over here, we can do on another piece. And if you want, you can add a little bit of salt on top. And there you have it. A nice, easy Cornish hen recipe in under 30 minutes. And this goes well with so many other sides, but that's for another day. Now that we've dressed our Spatchcock Cornish hen, let's give it a try. Cheers. The best thing about Cornish hen is that it always comes out so juicy, and it is so tender when you make it. And the gremolata is the perfect balance between fresh herbs and acidity mixed with a perfectly cooked Cornish hen. Thanks for firing up this recipe with me. Can't wait to see you on the next one. I got a cartilage.
Just like Vic's